So yesterday I bought the SteelSeries Prime Plus wired mouse. I didn't want to buy the wireless one because it's 130 bucks, it's 80 grams, and I just really did not think that it was worth that much money. So I just decided to get the Prime Plus. It was 80 bucks, and I thought it was like kind of fairly priced for like what it includes. Like it has an OLED screen on the bottom, and it has like these new SteelSeries clicks and whatnot that we'll get into. But overall, I can honestly say that my experience using this mouse was pretty disappointing. So number one, with this kind of shape, it is most definitely an ergo shape. Most SteelSeries mice kind of are, even the Rival 5 that I recently reviewed as well. But to be honest, I felt like the Rival 5 had a better shape than this Prime wireless mouse. Someone commented that like the Prime series mice are like the replacement for the Rival 600, but I can honestly tell you that is the furthest thing from the truth. This mouse is not shaped anything like the Rival series of mice. Any of them. Not the 310, not the 600, not any of them at all. So let's go ahead and start off with what I do like about the mouse. So the first thing that I do like about this mouse is that they use a removable cable. I do wish that it was USB Type-C, especially for $80, but it is micro USB. At least it's removable, and I cannot use the garbage cable that they include, and I can just use my Paracord's micro USB cable. It works like a charm. It's extremely flexible, like most modern mice cables should be, but this mouse, the cable that they give you is just not really that flexible. They do make it kind of cool, so like it goes in like one way and one way only, so you can't really mess it up. I just wish that the cable that was included with the mouse was a little bit better. The second thing that I do like about this mouse is the scroll wheel, except for the sound. The sound, it sounds pretty bad, but it feels good. I don't know, like, I don't know if this is just like a bad copy or what, but I do like the feel and the steps of the scroll wheel. I just don't like the sound. Pretty much all that I like about the mouse. Let's get into what I don't like about the mouse. The first thing is gonna be the shape. I just find that the shape of this mouse, it just feels really weird, like compared to other ergo mice or other mice that are like the bigger EC, is it the Zowie mice or whatever? I feel like this is like trying to be that, but it just isn't, and something about it just feels weird. I don't know if it's like the aggressive curve on the right side of the mouse that just feels kind of off, where it feels like on maybe something like a Pulsar X Lite, it just feels slightly more gentle and feels out a little bit more of your hand. And then for some reason, the mouse 2 button feels a little bit too low for me compared to like where my finger placement is on the mouse 1. It just feels very awkward to grip, and I could not get a very good grip on this mouse. The next thing that I absolutely hate about this mouse is the fact that SteelSeries, for whatever reason, keeps using these really small and skinny side buttons. Why? The first thing that's wrong with these side buttons, I feel like they're just up just a little bit too much, like they're just a little bit too high and too hard to reach. And then, you know, I feel like they could be a lot wider too, and that would kind of alleviate a lot of the problem. I just don't understand like why we have these super small and skinny side buttons that are really high up on the mouse. It just feels unnatural to use. Next, we have the mouse feet. Now, I don't have much wear on these mouse feet, and I'm sure that they would get better, but these for some reason feel worse than other SteelSeries mouse feet that I've tried. I mean, they could be the same, and maybe just because they're a little bit bigger than on something like the Rival 600 or whatnot, that they take up a little bit more surface area. But I don't know. The real problem that I have is not necessarily that they use existing mouse feet that they already use, but on the wireless version for $50 more, they give you their upgraded mouse feet. Why do I have to spend $50 when I'm already getting the upgraded version over the base version of the mouse just to get better mouse feet? That just doesn't really set well with me. Like, that just seems like too much of a reach. Not to mention that I bought this one purely because it was in the 70-gram range instead of the 80-gram range like the wireless variant is. So I'm thinking, you know, okay, we'll circumvent the weight issue entirely. I'll just get the wired version and use a paracord. But it just seemed like they just had to gimp you for whatever reason onto mouse feet. The next thing that I don't like is the fact that my OLED screen just doesn't work. At first I thought that because I was using a third-party paracord that, you know, maybe the mouse just wasn't getting enough power, but I also tried it with the SteelSeries cable as well, and it still did not work. I'm thinking that my copy is probably defective. And the last thing that I don't like about this mouse are the clicks. So I just feel like these feel and sound weird, and I don't know any situation where I would ever pick these over literally anything else. KLG and 8.0s, Omron 20 mils, Omron 60 mils, Omron 50 mils even. I mean, I just don't know what made them choose these mouse clicks instead of anything else. No rattling, so that's kind of good, I guess, except for the weird scroll wheel issue. I don't know. I just give up, man. I give up. Like, if this is the new SteelSeries, I just don't like it. I'm over it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this Prime Series mice after this review in the comment section below. Let me know your experience if you bought one of these things and what you think of it, and with some context of my experience. If you have any of these things that are kind of relatable, drop them in the comment section below. I'm curious to see. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks again for watching. I would feel bad if I didn't give you guys recommendations on what to buy instead of this mouse. So the first mouse that I would recommend if you want to stay like in like a fairly budget category and you don't mind having a wired mouse would be the new and improved Pulsar X Lite. I'll leave a link to my review in the description below, but this mouse is actually really good. Weighs in at about 50 grams. They also improved the cable as well. So the cable I think is actually really good. The side buttons are nice and big. The shape is really comfortable as well. And then they also have PTFE feet, unlike the garbage SteelSeries feet that they put on there. And it's only 60 bucks as well. So the price is also pretty reasonable. The next mouse that I would recommend, if you want to go wireless, I would go with the Rocat Cone Pro Air. This mouse is really good, especially for a similar grip style that you would kind of expect to have with a SteelSeries mice. But this mouse is really good for palm and claw grip. You can fingertip it, even though it feels like a little bit weird because it's, you know, kind of big and kind of long, but you can do it, and I've done it before too. But my natural grip with this mouse is more of like a palm claw. This would be the same price as the Prime Wireless at $129, but you can also just get the wired version for 80 bucks, which is the same price as the Prime Plus. And I do feel like in both cases, this is a better mouse. You get better mouse clicks, bigger side buttons that are really easier to hit, a much nicer shape, and PTFE feet. And if you go with the wired version, you get an even better paracord. And if you go with the wireless version, you get not only a dongle for 2.4 gigahertz technology, you also get Bluetooth compatibility as well. So you can use it with multiple devices, which I think is pretty novel. And it's lighter weight.
Boom, another one down.
So like, a lot of my mice that are paracorded using my older wires, I just don't really use. So I think I might just like spend an hour or two changing up the cables on some of my mice.